Hey, what's up, everybody? Today we're going to be going over the A.L.I.G.N method. The letter L stands for locate. And the first letter, A, awareness, becoming aware of our patterns, our limiting beliefs. Today, we will be talking about locating them. All right. So, why do people struggle to change? Do you distract yourself? Do you endlessly scroll on social media looking for a little dopamine fix and hope in your own life? Do you play video games endlessly because it gives you a false sense of instant gratification and achievement? Do you fall into habits like using pornography because it's instant gratification and boosts your dopamine and isn't real, actual connection, but it gives you that false sense of intimacy? Do you suppress your emotions with drugs, alcohol, food, sex, workaholism? Do you try to force yourself to think positive because you don't want to feel the pain that you haven't let fully heal and come up to the surface to be re experienced and felt? Locating is about sitting with yourself and asking some harder questions. It's allowing yourself to feel your feelings and to explore those feelings as they come up and to examine them. And we're going to go over a little practice that we can do. There's actually 3 practices that we can do to help integrate our mind, our body, and our story or our past, the narrative that we tell ourselves. Okay. So, locate, we're trying to figure out where the feeling comes from, what thought is driving that feeling, and what triggered it. What events in your life triggered it? Was it a memory? Was it an experience? Did someone say something to you that triggered something in you to make you feel a certain way? And then all of a sudden you're running down this spiral of, okay. So awareness helps you understand what those triggers are. And then once we say locate, we're like, okay, this is the thought that triggered me. This is the feeling I'm having. This is locate. This is when we try to isolate it down and we explore that in more depth. Okay. So the journaling practice we did for the awareness section helps excavate some identity and belief stuff. That is a really good way to start getting more awareness about your triggers, about your patterns, about your beliefs. Now, when we're going to try and actually uproot some old patterns or beliefs, that's where locate comes in. Okay. It's like, you're walking around, you see the ground. You ever use one of those radar detectors? It's like, that will tell us what's under the ground. Beep, 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 beep. All right. So what we're doing right now with the locate section is we got our little X-ray radar detector thing, and we're walking around and we're actually trying to locate within our own self what where the story originated, what feelings are in your body when it comes up, and what thoughts are in your mind. Okay. So there's 3 levels to truly locate a pattern. You have to connect all 3: the mind, the body, and the past. Okay, so the mind is your thoughts and beliefs. The body is your sensations and emotions. And the past is the origin. Where did this pattern or story come from? And the real change that people are seeking happens when we connect all 3. But I feel like in today's world, people aren't taught how to actually do this. So any uncomfortable feeling or any past experience that has been a little traumatic or difficult to experience, most people want to suppress it. They don't want to feel negative. They don't want to feel those negative emotions, the shame, the doubt, the guilt, the fear, the sadness, the grief, the anger, the jealousy, whatever it might be for you. We don't want to feel those things. So a common mistake is people try to push them down and avoid those feelings. And that is what usually leads to unhealthy coping mechanisms, escapism, okay? Trying to avoid the negative by using alcohol, by using drugs, by stuffing your face with food, by constant distraction in video games, television, okay? There are so many different things out there that distract us from getting in touch with our emotional body, with our emotional body. Our body is emotional. It is energy in motion. Emotion, energy in motion. Our body is emotional. Okay? Our mind is thinking. Our body is emotional. To go from our head to our heart is a very long journey. Okay? It's only about this far, but it feels like it's really far. Okay? Because the heart is what remembers. The body is what remembers the past. It remembers the pain. It remembers those hard feelings. And until we can actually sit with our body and sit with our emotions and sit with our heart and harmonize the voice in our head with the voice in our heart and make peace with our past and feel what needs to be felt so you can heal it, we'll always be repressing, suppressing, and acting in ways we aren't fully aligned with. And that's the reason I created the A.L.I.G.N method, is because I have experienced this in real time in my real life. And I've developed it over the course of probably, I spent 2 years focused on creating the A.L.I.G.N method specifically after almost 15 or 20 years of experiences in healing. Okay. So take a deep breath. You're doing great. So the first practice, okay, I'm sure some people, if you've looked into psychology or things like that, you've heard of name it to tame it, which is helping people become more emotionally intelligent. When you have an emotion that you're feeling, you name it, and that reduces its power over you. Okay, so if you're feeling a certain way, you just be conscious and aware. Oh, this is what I'm feeling. Now name that feeling. Once you name that feeling, you won't be as emotionally reactive. You can understand, I'm feeling this. We're not going to go into name it to tame it, but we're going to kind of do our own little sequence. It's going to be name it, and then it will be feel it, and then it will be trace it back. All right. So the first practice is for the mind. It's naming it. It's giving our mind a sense of security. If we can name the emotion we're feeling, okay. So anytime we label that emotion, it reduces the intensity. And then we can start to identify the pattern, the root of it. What is that feeling saying? What is it telling your mind? Is it I'm not good enough? Is it this won't work? Is it doubt? Is it fear? Is it I always mess this up? I always sabotage myself. I'm not good enough at this, so why even try? What is it for you? What are the constant thoughts that come up for you? Anybody remember that story, the little kid story about the little train, the little engine that could? All right, I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. What are your repeating thought patterns? That's a good place to start, because usually those repeating thought patterns are coming from an emotional experience. And if yours aren't, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, and there's something else, you want to identify that, because that is where you start to locate, okay, we're starting to hone in. What are our repeating thoughts, our repeating stories, our repeating feelings, our repeating patterns? Okay, so that's where we start this, is naming what you're feeling, or naming the story that comes up for you. Second, in your body, you need to feel this. I know this is uncomfortable, but there are certain practices that we will talk about, that we talked about in awareness, breathing techniques, meditation, journaling. These are all ways to help regulate our nervous system and become more aware so that we can sit with our emotions without becoming emotionally reactive and going and doing something like drinking or overeating or distracting ourselves. Okay. So we will develop tools to be able to have more peace and ease with sitting and experiencing our own emotions. All right. And the key question to ask when we try to feel it, you sit with your body, close your eyes, maybe put a hand on your heart and a hand on your belly. Do your 4-6 breathing technique. In through the nose for 4 seconds, out through the nose for 6 seconds. And just gently ask yourself, what am I feeling in my body? Where do I feel this in my body? And then just be aware of any feelings or sensations in your physical body, because oftentimes trauma is stored in our physiology. And until we're able to locate that within us, it will stay stuck. It will stay there. Once you identify where it is, maybe you have tightness in your lower back. Maybe you have some tightness in your shoulders. Maybe you have some tightness in your chest or in your gut or in your head. Identify that and then breathe into it. When you do your 4-6 breathing technique, breathe in through your nose for 4, out through your mouth for 6. This will help regulate your nervous system, and it can help dissipate some of that stress. Okay. Stress in your body is an indicator of where past trauma is stored. So we want to be able to let that stuff go. Okay? So identify where you feel it in your body and then try to breathe into that part of your body. We'll do some more of these somatic experiencing practices in the I phase of our next video. But right now, this is just a little start for helping you locate where in your body you feel these sensations. All right. So remember, the body keeps the score. There's a good book on that about stress being stored in our physiology. And until we can actually feel it and heal it, it will stay with us and either cause illness and disease or patterns of bad behavior. The third practice, once we are able to identify the thoughts or the story and the feelings in our body, where did this come from? Start to ask those questions. When have I felt this before? Was there a certain thing that I just experienced that brought all of this up? Does that remind me of a past event that I had in childhood, a past traumatic experience of, I don't know, fear or shame or doubt or grief or anger? Okay. Did you have an argument with someone that you're close with and that triggered a bunch of stuff? Did you see something on television that was really hard to watch and it triggered a bunch of stuff? Go back, sit with yourself, try to trace it back to its origins. Most of the time, if we are triggered by something, it's an indicator of something we haven't healed from our past. If we can sit in observational awareness without judgment, that is a clean and clear place to be. But if we're sitting in a place of emotional reactivity and judgment, that's probably because we have things within ourselves that we haven't traced back and healed from. So this is the point where if you're conscious and aware, we start to locate, okay, where is this in my body? And then where is this in my narrative? Where in my past have I experienced similar things to make me feel this way? All right. So again, common sources of this might be childhood experiences, relationships, past failures, or rejections. And the thing is, patterns repeat until they're fixed. Patterns will repeat until we can become consciously aware, until we can feel it and heal it fully, and until we can have enough emotional regulation to choose differently. Okay? So these are the three practices: mind, body, and past, tracing it back to the story where it originated. And once we do that, we have located it. The next letter that we'll be working on is I for integrate. And that's really where practices come in to help us heal it. What I mentioned today with meditation, with journaling, with breath work, those are three nice practices that help with awareness and locate and integrate. But we'll go into some more somatic experiencing type practices in our next video. But basically, a simple way to do this: when you get triggered, ask yourself, what am I feeling? Okay. We want to name it. Become emotionally intelligent. Become aware. Okay, what am I feeling right now? Is it anger? Is it sadness? Is it grief? Is it fear? Is it shame? Is it doubt? Is it jealousy? Is it envy? Just becoming aware of what we're feeling is a huge step in the right direction. Step two, once we're aware of it, okay, I'm feeling some doubt and some grief. Where do I feel this in my body? Okay, where do I feel doubt and grief in my body? And then once you can identify, for me, sometimes it comes up in my heart area. Then ask yourself, what thought is attached to it? All right, so I got some doubt, some grief in my heart. The thought that's attached to it is, it's, am I going to be able to achieve? Will I be good enough? Will I be able to accomplish my goals? Will I be able to fulfill the people in my relationships? Will I be a good, will I be a good boyfriend? Or will I be a good teacher? Will I be a good friend? Will I be able to perform the career things that I want to achieve, the career goals that I want to achieve? Will I be able to achieve that to the level that will make me feel fulfilled? So these are some questions of what thoughts are attached to it. And then step four, when have I felt this before? So for me, I am aware of my core wound, which is the feeling of like not being good enough and having to go achieve to prove my worth. So I'm aware that I've gone through this phase, this cycle many times with different emotions. And the thought that's attached is usually it's the core wound thought. I'm not good enough. So the doubt, it comes back because the doubt comes up because I feel like I'm not good enough. Why do I feel like I'm not good enough? Okay. When have I felt this before? Well, in a certain relationship, this experience happened and made me feel like, when I was betrayed, I wasn't good enough in that relationship. Or when I went and played football in college, we didn't have a winning record for my last 2 years as a player. So I didn't feel like I was good enough. What else? Those are the two big ones for me that kind of shaped my stuff. But you can also trace this back, and it might be an experience as a little kid in your childhood. Childhood experiences are very, very life shaping, belief shaping, identity shaping. Because if you have something that happens to you, at a young age, you don't yet have the emotional maturity and the emotional intelligence to feel that fully and process that fully. So it gets stored unconsciously. And until we can actually start to do some of that inner child healing for ourselves as adults and reparent those parts of ourselves that experienced hardship, trauma, difficult emotions that were left unprocessed, until we can do that, it will still direct our life. Okay. So it's important for this practice to locate where these stories and these emotions are coming from, because it starts with awareness, but then locating it will allow us to actually make a change, to heal from it, and then choose differently and grow from it. Okay. So you can't change what you haven't located. So that's all for today. I know this is kind of just a simple practice to start becoming more emotionally aware and locating some of those patterns, beliefs, traumas, experiences that shape our thoughts and our feelings. So our next video will be on integrate, and we'll talk about some more of those healing practices that we can use in the A.L.I.G.N method. If you do want any help with identity or belief transformation coaching, I offer coaching in that. So please feel free, comment below, DM me. I would love to set up a time to talk with you and see how I can be of service to helping you become your best self. So thank you, and please help grow the channel by liking, subscribing, clicking all the buttons, watching more videos, telling us what you think in the comments, and sharing this with all your friends and family. So thank you, everybody. I love you so much. God bless. Good luck. All right. See you later.